Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back into a Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys some of my best tips to hitting way more shots in this game. So if you guys need some very good tips to improve your accuracy and hit way more shots, definitely stay to the end of the video because these tips will help you guys out tremendously if you are looking to improve your accuracy in this game. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys want to take part in this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do turn on post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video and when I announce the winners. And lastly, leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And lastly, make sure you guys do support me in the item shop. All you guys have to do is go down to the bottom right, click on support a creator, type in creator code YoungHumor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's go to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to give you guys some very good tips and tricks that you guys can use to improve your accuracy here in Fortnite. So going into the first tip in this video, and this is something that I've mentioned previously in a couple of videos, but it is super important if you guys want to have the best aim you possibly can. This is going to help you improve your aim, hit way more shots, and also hit for a lot more damage. Because I know a lot of you guys may be struggling to hit high damage shots. Some of you guys may be consistently hitting 20 damage, 30, or maybe 40. And just doing this one simple thing is going to make all the difference. It's going to allow you to hit way more high damage shots very consistently in this game. So the one thing that you guys want to do is something that I'm going to be showing you guys on screen. But when you're approaching gunfights, this could be very true whether you're in a build fight, whether you're just running through buildings. But you always want to make sure that you have the best crosshair placement possible. And what that means is when you're rounding a corner, if you're rounding around a wall or whatever the case may be, that your crosshair is already lined up to where it needs to be. So you don't have to, if you walk around a corner and you're looking down or you're looking all the way up, it's going to be a lot more challenging to line up your shot because you have to round the corner and then you have to go for a flick shot. So it's going to be a much harder to even hit the target, first of all, and then second of all, it's going to be much more difficult to get a headshot off of that angle. But if you have really good crosshair placement and you finish it off an edit, if you're just walking around a corner and your crosshair is already lined up where it needs to be, it's going to be 10 times easier to line up a headshot, meaning you're going to hit way more shots, and at the same time, you're going to be hitting way more damage because you can line up that headshot right away. And so good crosshair placement could just be walking around a corner and making sure that your shotgun, your SMG, or even your AR, whatever gun you have, is already at headshot levels. When you round the corner, even if the guy, comes out, like you weren't expecting him, he comes out of, right around that corner, you already have your gun lined up. All you have to do is pull the trigger, and you're going to be getting multiple headshots off on the other player. So that is the number one thing that you guys definitely want to do, is making sure you have very good crosshair placement. That is going to allow you to be a lot more accurate because your shot already going to be lined up. And my rule of thumb is you always want to go for a flick shot. You want to be good at flick shots, but you don't want to use flick shots. You want to use the flick shots as least as possible, because the more you flick to one of the sides, the much more difficult it is to going to be consistently hitting more damage and also just hitting more higher damage shots. So you don't want to flick, you want to flick shot as least as possible, but you also want to make sure you're pretty good at it. And the best way to do that is just having the correct crosshair placement. So when you're rounding around corners, your shot is already lined up. You don't have to go for the craziest flick shot, and you're going to be hitting way more damage on the other player. And you're just going to have a much easier time aiming. And this can be done with any sensitivity. So you don't have to play on a high sensitivity to go for a flick shot if you already have very good crosshair placement, because your shots can be lined up. And you don't have to worry about playing on like a 60% just so you can flick all the way across your screen to hit another player. So that is going to be one of the number one things you guys want to do to improve your accuracy in this game. And so the second thing that you guys want to do, and this is going to help you just be way more accurate than other players, but what you want to do is, I've seen this happen to a lot of players and even really good players as well, is you never want to rush your shots. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I've seen a lot of people make when it comes to just their aim overall, is when you usually panic or you make a rush decision with your accuracy or your shotgun, most of the time you're going to end up missing. And it kind of goes into the same thing with flick shots. If you just, you panic, you go for like a crazy flick shot, even if you are able to hit the other player, you're going to be hitting low damage anyway. So in most cases, it's almost always better to just be a little bit more patient, just so you can line up the shot and hit the proper damage. So that's what I would recommend doing. And the only really exception to this that I've seen is if you're going against like an extremely good player. A lot of the times you have to be very quick with your shots, and you genuinely have no time at all to line up any sort of, accuracy on them at all, because if you don't get a quick shot on them, if you basically, when you're going against really good players, you only have maybe like a split second to get a shot on them. So there is going to be some situations in which you really need to get off your shots very quickly, but for the most part, I would say at least 90% of players, even if they are decently good at the game, you're going to have enough time to at least line up a good shot, have very good crosshair placement and align it exactly where you want. So when you're going for a shot on the other player, you're going to be very accurate and you're going to be able to hit the other player much easier. And this could be true whether you're going for an SMG shot and a shotgun shot, whatever the case may be. You just don't want to panic your shots. And as I said, it doesn't apply to every single case, because there is some times where you have to go for a very quick, almost panic-like shot, just because the other player is extremely good and you really just don't have any time to line up, or you don't have any extra time to line up that extra half second needed to get off the best accuracy that you have. So that's going to be my second tip for you guys, is making sure that you don't rush your shots. And in most situations, it's going to pay off tremendously, and you're going to be hitting way more damage, you're going to be way more accurate, and it's just going to help you guys out a ton. And going into the third thing that you guys want to do to improve your aim. Now, this is something that I've just noticed personally. I think that this is just something to keep in mind, and something that really just makes the biggest deal. So when it comes to ranges, you either have short range, you have medium range, and you have long range. I'm going to be focusing on short and long range. So when it comes to long range, to be honest with you guys, I think it almost 100% just depends on your sensitivity, because when it comes to long range shots, obviously, to aim, it's going to take a little bit of skill. I think close range situations is something you have to improve on drastically, because being able to hit your flick shots, being able to be very accurate with your SMG and shotgun close range takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice. But when it comes to long range situations, I feel like it's almost entirely on a good sensitivity, because no matter how good you are at the game, if you play on a bad ADS sensitivity for long range shots, you're going to be missing a ton of your shots. And even if you're not the best aimer at long range, if you play on a good sensitivity, I feel like you're going to be very accurate and have no problem at all hitting your shots. So up on screen, I had the sensitivity that I had. I play on a 10% and a 10%. I think this is a very good aim down sight sensitivity, and I do currently play with no look damping time, but you also can put like a 0.04 on, or whatever the case may be, if you want to have a little bit more of a little bit better long range shots. You can put a little bit of a look damping time on, but I really do feel like when it comes to long range, like I said, doesn't apply to close range. Specifically long range with your assault rifle, it almost entirely just depends on your sensitivity, because if you play on a low sensitivity, you're going to be much more accurate at long range, and if you play on a high sensitivity, you're going to be a lot less accurate. Now, as far as the best sensitivity to play on for long range, I recommend anything from like a 9% to a 12%. You can choose what sensitivity you guys prefer to have, but that's what I would recommend. Anything from a 9% all the way up to a 12, 13, or maybe 14% at the very highest is going to be the range that you want to stay in for your long range sensitivity. But when it comes to close range, I do prefer to have a low sensitivity, because it helps me have a lot more control, helps me to line up my shots a lot better. But at the same time, it's not necessarily a one size fits all, but I really do feel like it's a one size fits all when it comes to long range shots. If you play on a high sensitivity with your ADS, you can maybe be good at close or mid range, but it comes to long range, I mean, you're going to be struggling no matter how good you are at this game, no matter how much practice you have. You are going to be having a much more difficult time hitting long range shots if you do play on a higher aim down sight sensitivity, no matter what your skill level is. So that's why I really wanted to include that in this video, because if you guys play on some really goofy ADS sensitivity, that is going to directly affect how good you are to be able to aim at range. I think close range is a little bit different story. I do prefer the low end, but at the same time, it's not required. I just think that when it comes to close range, if you have really good muscle memory, you can play on pretty much any sensitivity within reason. Anything from like a 40 to 60%, I think you can play on just fine, as long as you have very good muscle memory in the game. I tend to stay into the mid or a little bit lower 40s, just because I feel like I have way more control over my shots, and it helps me personally improve my aim. But with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys found this video very helpful, make sure you guys do drop a like, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. make sure you guys do hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload, and when I do stream every single day, because I stream every day on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So definitely hit that notification bell so you guys will get notified when I go live. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.